bonding with my committee.
Samiksha ma'am, you're yelling on me.
Committee is over.
Even I was bonding with my committee.
All committees are over, people.
Okay, one second, guys. One second.
Yes.
1 second. Before we
Archit
have
ma'am.
Sir, Timothy sir, 1 second. Before we have a revolt on our hands, after the closing ceremony is done, we will ensure that we allot everybody who remains to your committees, and you can have a bonding session over there.
Oh, thank you so much. That is what I was going to ask Moin as well. I just wanted another 20 minutes or 30 minutes of committee time. So there's feedback sessions that I want to give them.
Also,
We'll ban biryani in that session.
seeing that UNEP is literally the best committee in this entire MUN, all of you are still welcome to our amazing committee to join us for the bonding session.
Timothy,
Pritam sir, we are streaming live on YouTube.
the fact that Timothy was not in his committee for majority part of the time.
Not majority. Okay,
She is very excited to come to teachers
Sir,
committee
one
and chill
second.
out there. Jai Timothy.
Sir, it was like an extended social studies lesson. It felt like karma is coming back at me because I used to not listen to my social studies lesson.
Look at that, son. Not you, Baba. It's already live on YouTube.
Yes.
Yes.
So
That's what I was saying.
Be careful on what you say. That's all we can say.
Right.
Right?
Now bring Timothy here.
Now let's talk about who you went to church with.
Yes.
How about now? Why?
just to remind you,
Not
this
so
is live
easy.
on YouTube, and this goes on the YouTube channel of the Indian Conclave.
And I will stay there forever.
Kids over here.
But who's watching it now?
Over here.
See,
Ladies and
delegate of
gentlemen,
UNHRC New Zealand, you have free access to learning and being a part of Timothy's, wherever a conference where Timothy is there. Do you need a better entertainment session? See, look at this. This is entertainment that we are showing you on screen right now.
Sir, this is probably just to prove that, how great Timothy sir has been in the UNEP session. I have my sister who is in the UNEP session. She's a first timer, and I've never heard her talk so highly of anyone, considering someone as a mentor. And definitely both Samiksha ma'am and Timothy sir, I would really love to appreciate both of you for that.
Thank you so much. Who is your sister?
Pavitra Somada.
Australia. Which country?
delegate of Australia.
Okay, right.
Wait, you also grew up in.
Yeah.
Pardon me, I
host
didn't
is
hear you.
muted everybody. The host is muted everybody, guys. We will be starting off with the closings.
Sorry for that, guys. Since we're already running a bit.
You're muted.
Rishabh, you're muted.
Yeah, cool. Sorry for that. So since all of you are really excited about getting started off with the closing ceremony, and since all the delegates here are waiting for your awards, we will not delay it further. And thank you so much for, first of all, coming to the closing ceremony, being a part of the Indian Conclave in any way, either the pre-Mun week or the Mun week or both of them. It really means a lot to us. So before we just move on to the awards, there are a few segments that we would have. So first up, we would have a speaker. So the speaker's name is Anup Agarwal. Anup Agarwal is a medical doctor. He works at the Indian Council of Medical Research, which is the ICMR. It is situated in New Delhi, and it is the apex body in India for the formulation, coordination, and promotion of biomedical research. And it is one of the oldest and largest bodies in terms of biomedical research in the entire world. So Anup Agarwal currently works in the COVID response department of the ICMR. And without further ado, I would hand over the floor to Anup Agarwal. Sir, you can go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anup. I work at ICMR. I'm doing some research on convalescent plasma. I was asked by Urvansh, who's one of you, to talk about vaccines and what is India doing about vaccines. So I don't exactly know what your understanding of vaccines is. So I'll just give you a brief background about vaccines, and then we will talk about COVID vaccines. So to begin with, there used to be a disease called smallpox, which is now eradicated. It was eradicated in 1980. So there was a scientist called Edward Jenner. What he did was he took some pus out of a smallpox pustule and he gave it to a young boy. And then he gave the smallpox to the patient, to the boy, and then he realized that the boy did not get very sick from the smallpox. And that is how, to his own child, okay, someone said to his own child, okay, and that is how the vaccines were born. So basically, you give a small part of the organism itself, mostly a dead part of the organism itself, to people, and then you hope that the body will generate a response against it. So basically, what comes from outside is called antigen, and what we make in our own body is called antibody. So you hope that the antibody will form, and then this will protect you against further infection. So that is the whole logic behind making vaccines. Well, this seems very simple, but it isn't always as simple. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any infectious diseases. So there is a lot to think about when you make vaccines. First is, what if the small part becomes infectious and causes infection in the body? Then it will, so it's a double-edged sword. So first thing is, vaccine should be safe. So the first step in making a vaccine is to assess whether it is safe or not. And if it is safe, then you see whether the body is making enough antibodies against the virus or the bacteria that will last for a long time. And if that happens, then you say, well, okay, this vaccine works. So you go in 4 phases of research. So currently, so the first step, or the first phase, is when you give it to healthy volunteers and you see how the healthy volunteers are over the next few months. And then you do it in phase 2, then over a large scale to a large population you give, and then you see how they did, and then you find out whether it is working or not. So that is phase 3. So this is how you go. It's a very scientific process. You go very slow, and then you see. So multiple vaccines are being developed in India, in the world. US is developing 3 vaccines. One of them has completed phase 1 and phase 2 trials. So they are in phase 3 trial. There is one in Oxford, and they have also completed their phase 1 and phase 2 trials, which means that the vaccines that they have produced is safe, but we don't know whether they work or not. So in phase 3 trials, we'll find out whether the vaccine will work or not. In the vaccine that we are producing in India, so ICMR, along with a company called Bharat Biotech, is running phase 1 and phase 2 trials, and we'll hopefully finish the phase 1 and phase 2 trials soon, and then we'll move on to the phase 3 trial. The phase 3 trial, the phase 1 and phase 2 are to assess whether our vaccine is safe or not, and in phase 3 we'll find out whether it will work or not. So currently, so the first question is, everyone is asking the question, when will the vaccine come? The first question is whether a vaccine will come. See, everyone is banking on a vaccine, but we never know it will ever come or not. We have never had a vaccine for tuberculosis. We've never had a vaccine for malaria. We've never had a vaccine for HIV, AIDS. So there are many diseases where we've never been able to make a vaccine. So we cannot be very sure that we will definitely have a vaccine. So that's the first question, whether we'll have a vaccine. And the second is, if we have a vaccine, when will we have it? So that's the second question. I think going by how the things are progressing, the earliest we'll have a vaccine which is safe and effective, and if everything falls into place, the earliest we'll have a vaccine is by January, and that is like keeping that everything falls into place on time. But let's take a step back and think about, why are we talking about vaccines? We are talking about vaccines because that's the only way to stop COVID. This is what people think. But we should realize that a lot of countries have stopped COVID even without any vaccine. There are multiple countries in Europe, China, New Zealand, which have stopped the COVID epidemic in their own countries within their borders and this is without a vaccine. So we should realize that vaccine isn't the only thing. If we just follow very basic social norms like wearing a mask, maintaining hygiene, maintaining social distancing or physical distancing, if we follow all of these, if we report to our doctors regularly, there is a good chance of controlling this disease. So we shouldn't put all our eggs into one basket and hope that a vaccine will come. So we should think of these other possibilities. I would also like you all, because this is what model United Nations. So I think you should all think about, you should also think about, if a vaccine, if and when it is available, who will get the vaccine? The previous epidemic where a vaccine was available was the H1N1 epidemic, and a vaccine did come there. But the European vaccine, and there was no vaccines in the global south, which is Asia, South America, Africa. So even if this time there is a vaccine, the question is who should get it, when they should get it, who should we prioritize? All of these are bigger questions. How will we get the vaccines to the poorest parts of the country, to the most hardest to reach parts of the country? Who will give the vaccines? These are other different questions that we should think about. Even if there is a vaccine, who should be prioritized? So I would I think more than vaccines, I would just like to say that we should focus on non-pharmaceutical interventions, which is things that are already known, things that are working, to focus on them. And then if and when a vaccine comes, we'll deal with that at that point. But right now we should focus on non-pharmaceutical interventions. I think I've spoken enough. I don't know exactly what I was supposed to say, but if there are any questions, if there is anything, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much, sir, for those words. It is always good to know, so good to get some information from someone who's actually experiencing it, and especially due to the current situation. So guys, if you guys have any questions for Anup sir, just type it in the chat box and Anup sir would answer it.
Yogi has raised his hand.
Yeah, guys, if you have questions, just don't raise your hand.
I want to know that there has been in recent, there is news that Russia.
I cannot hear you. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Delegates, please use the chat box.
You guys just type it in the chat box. I'll read it out and Anup sir can answer it.
Will Bharat Biotech vaccine be useful to mitigate the disease, not the vaccine, mitigate the disease? We don't know yet. So Bharat Biotech's vaccine is currently in phase 1 and phase 2 trial. Once we finish that, we'll move on to phase 3, and only phase 3 will answer that.
Thank you, sir. We have another question. Sir, whom do you think as a person who should be prioritized, and how should the vaccine be provided efficiently, quickly, and equitably?
That is $1 million question, my friend. So you have to realize the first thing is who makes the vaccine, right? Who makes the vaccine is the companies that, so first thing is we should all be proud of a fact that India is the largest producer of vaccines in the world. Serum Institute of India, which is in Pune, it's a private company that makes the largest number of vaccines. But what happens is whenever a vaccine is available, the pharmaceutical companies, they get patents on them. Okay, and when companies get patents, drugs become expensive, and when drugs become expensive, it becomes very difficult for countries to buy. So first of all, as model United Nations, you should think of making vaccine a public good, which means that it should be available without patents. They should be available for free. They should be available to everyone. And if and when those laws are in place, that system is in place, then the next question is who should be prioritized. I think people more than 50 years of age, people who have diabetes, people who have hypertension, high blood pressure, they are at high risk of COVID. So they should be prioritized. vulnerable communities should be prioritized.
Sir, I have a question if you don't mind.
Yes.
So my name is Preetham Timothy, and I've been chairing the UNEP. As a psychologist and as someone who's studied psychology for over 4 years or almost 3 years now, sir, what importance, because the death toll, as we've seen, is extremely high. So what importance as a doctor would you place in grief counseling and psychological help to doctors and medical professionals in this trying time?
It's very important. A lot of doctors have stopped going to hospitals. So we call this phenomena burnout or moral injury, where a doctor or a nurse, not only doctors, nurses, ward boys, everyone is very affected. It's very hard to work in PPEs within the wards where there is no air conditioning. Even if there is air conditioning, it's just very hard, and to see patients die all the time, it's very hard. And doctors have been working day in and day out throughout this, so we need to take care of their mental health. Yeah, it's very important. There are not enough psychologists or psychiatrists in our country. I hope that answers your question.
Sir, it does. It's a very sad truth, but it does answer my question.
Thank you, sir. Would you be open to one more question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. The Russian vaccine by Gamaleya is declared yesterday, which is to be launched soon. Even after this, do you think that there are any chances of not having a vaccine at all?
Which one are you talking about? And where was it declared? I'm sorry, I don't.
No, like recently in the news that we have heard that the Russians are coming up with a vaccine, right?
Oh yeah, the Russians. I don't trust any of that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. No. So see, I wouldn't go by anything that is in the news. Okay. I wouldn't go by anything that is in the news. So to publish or to make anything that is medical legitimate, they have to go through a peer-reviewed process where other scientists, other medical doctors vet the information that is being shared. So anything in the lay press is not vetted by a doctor or a medical scientist. So when medical journals publish anything, they publish after all these vetting process. So anything that is not coming through a medical journal, I wouldn't trust any of that.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think that is all for today, since due to time constraints, we would have to move on. But thank you so much, sir, for your invaluable words. And I'm pretty sure all of us have learned a lot from this. And thank you so much for patiently answering our questions as well.
Oh, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Okay, so I'm pretty sure all of you would have learned a lot from that, and we all are really grateful that Anup sir could come. And without further ado, we'll move ahead with the next speaker. So the next speaker is Sailesh Singhal. So Sailesh Singhal is a global youth activist, community mobilizer, and a strategist advocating for youth rights, human rights, gender equality, accountability, transparency, and youth engagement in the development discourse. In an effort to endorse intergovernmental bipartisan cooperation for egalitarian sustainability, he has been promoting a cohesive framework for sustainable development, transparency, and accountability. So Sailesh Singhal is the founder of the Youth of India Foundation, special accreditation by 2020 United Nations Conference, a movement initiated to empower, engage, and evolve the young people of India in achieving the sustainable development goals through innovative campaigns and discussions. Youth of India is present across 13 states and 12 countries, completing over 100 projects. He had earlier served as the youngest district animal welfare officer by Animal Welfare Board of India, Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, which was released by the Government of India. Sailesh had been nominated by the Government of India to participate in the official Youth Summit of G20, Y20 Summit in Germany, and represent the Indian voices, and participated in the first ever Youth Climate Action Summit during the United Nations General Assembly for his Unplastic India initiative. An awareness drive to incrementally reduce and eliminate the single use of plastic by continuously discussing with educational institutions, corporate and government officials. He had appealed to the Prime Minister of India and the Lok Sabha Speaker to pledge in making Unplastic Parliament, to which the request was encouraged and implemented. More than 80,000 young people have pledged to incrementally reduce single-use plastic, and he further called for September 17th as the Global Unplastic Day. So we are really grateful to have you here, sir. Without further ado, you can take over, sir.
Thank you so much, Rishabh, for having me here and such a wonderful introduction that you could give. Sometimes it just makes me, it makes me happy that yes, there is something that I have been able to do as well. So thank you so much for giving that confidence in me once again. I think it's a delight for me as well as we celebrate the International Indigenous Day today. It's amazing to see how young people like you and myself, I think it's first of my lifetime opportunity that I could speak with about 100+ delegates representing different international organizations and different ministries and governmental bodies as well. Yeah, we could see UNSC, UNHRC, then UNEP, and then different member of parliaments who are sitting right next to me. And it gives me a sense of happiness that, I am not sure how much I would be able to interact with them in person, but Indian Conclave has really brought in all of you together in giving me a chance to interact with each one of you. I really don't know what to share with you. For a matter of fact, the kind of discussions that you would have had over the past I'm not sure how many of you would have participated in the last 1 week, but then for the last 2 days, the ones who have participated, I know for a matter of fact that there would have been 3 particular aspects that I have really learned while I used to participate in a lot of international dialogues and discussions. If it has to come, I never got a chance to participate in Model United Nations. I never got a chance to be in any of such dialogues, but it has been a blessing to participate in the actual UN dialogues. And it gives me a realization that, 3 things that I could have learned while I would have done MUNs would be, if you see Model United Nations, and if we just take the initials of each of these words, that is M, U, and N, then I see of my experiences in the United Nations, into a lot of these dialogues or a lot of my intergovernmental meetings, for M as manipulative. And I'm not sure how many of you would have also got a chance to manipulate each other to make sure that your paper gets passed, to make sure that your, papers definitely, but then your communique gets approved, or to say that your address to the media gets approved. So I think one thing that I would think all of you would have learned over this Indian Conclave, I'm so impressed by the entire team of India Conclave, bringing 13 different MUN circuits together and giving a chance to learn how manipulation happens. And I think from model, I would rather see model as manipulation. Then moving ahead, when you talk about united, yes, it's a sense of united that brings us together. We see UNEP from Canada and then UNEP from Iran joining in together. I am not sure how much the diplomatic ties serves well between these 2 countries, yet we are right here discussing and making our voices heard. Then, we could see UNEP from UK being here. I'm not sure if there are organizations from other circuit of EU as well, European Union, and how would Brexit serve as a purpose for the United Kingdom right sitting here, and how would they make a move? So when you talk about such things, I think I will take U for united, just like it is said, U for united. So it unites all of us together, and it gives us the worldly understanding, what's happening outside the box, what's happening around the world. And the best is that I think would have helped each one of you is to understand the diplomatic relations and ties with each other. And yet, at the end of the day, remain friends and stay, we could fight, we could shout it out. But then when you are in this, I know that you also had Bollywood nights and some of you were dancing and grooving on the Zoom call itself. And I got the chance to see a lot of them and I really enjoyed it. So that is united. You're fighting yet united. And then when you talk about N, I think with N, there is nothing else that I would really want to talk about. When you talk about nations, it is right that it is nations that is coming together, different countries coming together. But I see it in a different way. And I'm sure a lot of you would also want to see it in a different way. When you log out today and maybe at 8 p.m. in the evening, tomorrow a sense of belongingness, a sense of grief that can engage each one of us will be you, and each one of us would become nostalgic. I am not fighting it today. I am not making my mark heard today. And I think when I see them like this, that's how, manipulative yet united, and then getting nostalgic once you pass out. And that is a natural aspect of every diplomat. That is the natural aspect of every politician, because you got to be natural. You here are participating not as Chandrababu Naidu. You are not participating. I'm sorry, members. You are participating as Yogi Adityanath. Yes, you are participating as Chandrababu Naidu. Yet, the nature within you, the sense of belongingness within you, is absolutely that defines the positions and the names that you have been given through. I see a lot of comments coming in from Yogi Adityanath stating Jai Shri Ram, and I can't deny it, telling that yes, Jai Shri Ram. Yeah, the mandir has been built. Mandir wahi ban gaya hai. हम सबको मालूम है और वही बन रहा है. तो आपकी बातों को मैं सहाजा देता हूं और मैं चाहता हूं कि इस पूरे अंतरराष्ट्रीय ग्रुप या समूह में आपकी बात रखी जाए, तो उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. एंड राम लल्ला हम यहीं आएंगे. Anyway, getting back to what it is about, when you talk about manipulation, when you talk about united, and then you talk about nostalgic, I'm going to share just 3 quick lessons that I have learned over my life when I started my journey in 2014. And I started my journey with a no, and I took no as a new opportunity. And that has made all the difference today. When we say that, there has been a Nepal earthquake campaign that happened, that Nepal earthquake that happened in 2015. And then we started this campaign called the Pocket Money Campaign, wherein young people were encouraged to donate a part of their pocket money for Nepal. And you wouldn't believe, 1,50,000 rupees was collected within a time frame of 10 days. And when we opened the boxes in public, this is something that inspires me even now to the date. When we opened the boxes in public, the boxes opened with the flood of coins. And we were shocked, thinking that there might be stones, because we didn't get a very positive response initially. So when we opened it, we thought that there's so many coins. And when we counted it, it landed up to 1,50,000. And there were letters as well. Letters stating, "Dear sir, madam, I fought with my mother to buy chocolates for 2 rupees. And here it is for a better Nepal. I saved my pocket money to buy beautiful fountain pens, and I'm contributing for a literate Nepal." Letters like this from young people and children inspired us. And we didn't realize we were not an organization, just like Indian Council. We were not a registered body. We were just some young people in Siliguri in West Bengal, which came together to bring a positive impact. And what happened? We got selected as one of the top 10 world's best campaign by international organizations, including United Nations. And we didn't believe it. Because while I was in my class 10 and I gave my civics paper, history and civics paper, there was a question that came regarding United Nations. And to that date, I didn't even know that I answered that question wrong. And I thought that I just know one answer, that is the foundation of United Nations, and I didn't know anything else. And that is 2012 that I'm talking about. And in 2015, your campaign gets recognized by the international body, which you never thought about. And then they asked us, "Who are you?" Now that's a difficult question. We didn't have an organization name. We were no one. So we said, we are young people of Siliguri who did it. So they're like, "Dude, really? You don't have an organization name?" I'm like, "No." So they said, "Okay, you're young people of Siliguri. Uh-huh. Oh, so you are youth of Siliguri. And I like the idea so much that I said, yes, it is youth of Siliguri. And then the idea evolved from 2015, the campaign that we started, and today is 2020. We are youth of India. That means each one of you are already part of it. It's only that we haven't reached out to you yet. So when we do international events, when we get special accreditation, we are one of the 174 organizations to have been given special accreditation by United Nations. Across the globe, only 174 organizations which is recognized. But when they talk about our organization, they don't tell, this is XYZ organization. They say it is Youth of India. They don't say it is Salish and team. They say it is Youth of India. That means each one of us. When we talk about 60 million young people, when we talk about 60 million youth of India, that is this 60 million that they're talking about. And when we do international events, they say that, yes, it is the young people who are doing it. So whenever you go to international events, when you would participate in the UN activities or any of the international events that a lot of organizations are here, you would get that sense of pride already, because I have felt it myself. When I say that, I am part of Youth of India, a lot of them didn't even know that I am Youth of India. I mean, I'm a young person from India. And they said, oh, you are Youth of India. And I took pride in myself because I didn't have to introduce them to, that I am the founder of Youth of India. They just said, oh, achha, you are also a part of Youth of India. And that makes me happy and that makes me proud. So when we got a chance to participate last year in the United Nations General Assembly, and the first ever Youth Climate Action Summit that happened. It is the first time ever that the Action Climate Summit had happened. And we thought, what can we do? We had a lot of initiatives that were happening. But मुझे मालूम है आप सब अपने जीवन में एक चीज में तो चाय आप लोग ने पिया होगा, वो है ये कुल्हड़ी, मिट्टी के बर्तन, तमाम नामों से इनको बुलाया जाता है. I mean, this is a branding that is done, so forgive this. So this mud glass, right? And it is present in every nook and corner of the country. So we took it to United Nations and we presented it to the United Nations Secretary General, His Excellency Antonio Guterres. And then he asked what it is about. And I got a chance to tell him that this is a glass which is made out of so and so. You can use it, and once you can wash it and reuse it. And once you are bored, you can throw it in the soil and it will decompose. And then I didn't realize the meeting which he was in, it was a meeting with all the ministers of environment, and only the ministers of environment were present in that meeting. I luckily got a chance to be there in that meeting as well, representing Youth of India. And he kept this glass right on his podium, showing it loud to the world what this glass is about. Then a lot of international and national media covered it, stating that, His Excellency Antonio Guterres said that this is a glass of the century. Now you and I know the value of this glass. And while it was there in the United Nations, it got its actual value as well. So the last message that I would really want to leave with each one of you is that we got to be innovative. We as young people are known, we as the youth of India, as the young people of India are known, हम लोग जुगाड़ू हैं. हम लोग किसी भी चीज का जुगाड़ कर लेते हैं, खास करके जब असाइनमेंट सबमिट करना होता है, तब एक दिन पहले पता नहीं क्या ऐसा हमारे में शक्ति आ जाती है कि we get the right assignments on time. हम जुगाड़ू, इतने बड़े जुगाड़ू है कि हम कुछ भी कर लेते हैं. तो हमें तो कुछ नहीं करना है अब. हमें बस जो भारत की चीजें हैं उनको राइट वे से पैकेज करना है, राइट वे से उनको हमें मॉडल करना है और प्रेजेंट करना है. जैसे एप्पल का आईफोन, Steve Jobs has said that when his co-friend or co-partner Steve asked him that why are you pricing Apple MacBook with such a high price compared to the other product that is already there, he said that you just need to know how to package it and present it, and people will buy it, they will consume it. So all you got to do is find the right products, because when we talk about sustainability, when we talk about SDG 2030, when we talk about UN 75 and the decade of action, it is just about giving the actual solutions of sustainability. ये कुल्हड़, this is sustainable solution. It can be an alternative to plastic glass. You must have seen a lot of bamboo bottles and bamboo sticks coming up. I mean, bamboo, what do you call it? Pipes, straws coming up, and they're accepted. Why? And how come our country has it in abundance? So all you got to do is find the right solution that is already there in the nature, package it, and present it in the right way. And I'm telling you, the world is waiting for us. With this Model United Nations conference, or the dialogue that each one of you have participated in today, I'm sure a lot of you would want to end up either in diplomacy, either in political sphere, or you would want to be an policy maker, right? If these are the right aspects that each one of you are envisioning for today, then I'm telling you, we are in the right century. Because an advisor to the very highest office of the United Nations said me when I gave him a Khadi product that I don't know how India is leading in sustainability. I don't know how all of a sudden India is leading in sustainability. So if, as it is said, that young people are the torchbearers of this nation, and if we are so, we just need to package ourselves the better way. And I'm sure with this Model United Nations, there would have been a lot of discussions, ideas that would have come together. And I'm giving you an open opportunity to connect with the youth of India, and we will give you the right platform in making sure that your ideas are implemented. Because as a platform, we believe in 2047. We believe that when our nation would celebrate our 100 years of independence in 2047, how would young people lead the nation like? So as an organization, as a platform, as a community, we are here together. And let's come together, build each other, and create this win-win situation. And I'm sure this is what you would also have learned with your dialogue and conversation today. Thank you so much once again to the entire team of Indian Conclave, and to each one of you who have given me this opportunity to share my experiences. And it is indeed a delight once again to be joining all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for those words. I'm pretty sure everyone here would have been inspired and gotten influenced by those words. And sir, if you are fine with it, would you be open to questions from our audience here?
Sure, we could take some of them.
Okay. If you guys have any questions, just put it in the chat box, and a few of them will be asked to Shailesh sir, and he will answer it.
Can I ask it verbally, mate?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Hello, sir. My name is Preetam Timothy, and I really, really commend the work that you're doing. Absolutely brilliant, sir. And it's an absolute honor to meet a person like you. But, sir, I have a very simple question, if you don't mind. Sir, you have done great things, sir, but as a youth activist and someone who is fighting for the current generation, sir, how would you motivate or talk to the current generation of young women who fight, or young men, as a matter of fact, who fight oppression on a daily basis of patriarchy and of doing and worrying about what log kya kahenge? Sir, what message would you give to these people, sir?
Preetam, thank you so much. I really feel excited and energized with the kind of question that you have raised, the kind of operation that is happening, and the kind of patriarchal system that you talked about. And definitely then you talked about the inequalities among the men and women as well, right? If that is what I understand rightly with your question. I think, and then you talked about Log Kya Kahenge. This is a week of Kishore Kumar, the legendary singer. And then he sang a beautiful song, which I would like to remind to each one of you once again. Logo ka to kaam hai kehna. So, this is the essence that he talked about. And then if you remember watching the movie on Sanjay Dutt, the last message that he said, Logo ka to kaam hai kehna. Wo kehte rahenge. So I think, with something that I would really think, when I started my journey as well, I wouldn't really go into generalization, but I would speak of my own experiences and of my own happenings as well. When I started this journey, when I'm talking to you about the first campaign that we ever did, I was invited to a lot of the households as well by uncles and aunties. And I was happy because as a young person myself, 17, 18 years old then, I thought, yaar, uncle auntie ne bulaya hai, to acha taarif hi karenge kyunki hum acha kaam kar rahe hain. And when I land up there, I used to get scoldings. अरे आप क्या कर रहे हो? पढ़ाई नहीं करते हो आप? हमारे बच्चों को भी पढ़ाई नहीं करने दे रहे हो? And I was shocked. I'm trying to do something good for the society, and this is the kind of response that I could really get, and that made me saddened. But there's something that reminds me of Mahatma Gandhi, is that, and I come from a land of West Bengal. If you see behind Swami Vivekananda, I come from a land of West Bengal where a lot of singers have told, including Rabindranath Tagore, Jodi tor koi dak sune na tai tumi ekla cholo re. That means when no one is standing by you, when there is no one that is listening to you, but you have sincerity of your heart and clarity of your mind, then walk alone and you will achieve your dreams. So I think that should answer to the last part of your question. But when you're talking about oppression and the inequalities, there has been a sense of, there has been a lot of challenges that I have seen myself. And I think it is totally among the young people like you and I today. I think it is very important that one thing which is missed out is dialogue. When we talk about, we talk about sex education, when we talk about a lot of aspects, I think when there is no dialogue, there is no understanding, there is no clarity. So what is very important, what we really need to do is hold a lot of dialogues together, maybe with our family members. Let us forget this. I will share a very recent example that I had seen myself yesterday back in my family, and I call myself a feminist. A strong feminist, not that want equal opportunities for men and women as well. Bringing women at the same front as men are. Yesterday, while I was in my family, we are 4 male people, 3 brothers, father, and then a mother. So I was seeing that the entire day yesterday. I observed that 4 of us were relaxing somehow, and the mother was the only one who was working. And then it made me realize something, that even into a lot of our households, the brother or the son is sitting with the remote on and doing nothing, and then they're ordering their younger or the elder sister, please pani ka ek glass to la do. And it happens. Why is it happening? When we can think about feminism, when we can talk about gender equality, then why are such things happening even now? Because words are spoken from the unconscious mind. And the subconscious mind that evolves has the patriarchy even now. When we use words like his, why don't we use gender equal words? Why do we use only words like male dominated words like his? And we don't mention, it has been her experience, it has been his experience. When you're even mentioning to and we think that his is a very general term. No, it is not, boss. So I think it is very important that we need to host a lot of dialogues. And as the current national education policy talks about, it is a change that has to happen at the root as well, at the very basics. So I think when we start taking in education system like STEM, which is promoted by UN as well, and a lot of international agencies, it is then we can really achieve what we're talking about. And I'm sure with all of our efforts, we will reach gender equal society and a country and a nation. Thank you so much. And I hope that answers your query.
Sir, small follow-up. I'm so sorry to take up everybody's time. Rishabh, if you're all right, could I just...
Yeah, sure, sir.
Sir, I'm very sorry to take up your time. But sir, I love the fact that you spoke about gender equality. But sir, would you put the same importance in gender sensitivity as you put in gender equality as well?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pritam. And you just stole my word from the mouth. Gender sensitivity is equally important. And when I mean about gender sensitivity, I also want to include the LGBTQ community that we talk about. Because today, when we talk about women's rights, right? When did the women's rights start up? When did the UN Women initiate? It is not just, I think it is not more than 3 decades that have come up. Women rights, absolutely. Then if now, after next 30 years, there would be issues regarding, there are no rights about LGBTQ community as well. And it has been a lot of dialogues and discussions are happening. So in the next 20 years, it will come up again with the LGBTQ community as well. So I think it is really important to be sensitive. And I think one movie which each one of you would have watched, Stuart Little, the the theme or the underlying foundations of the movie states is accepting differences. So it is very important that we accept differences with each other. When I talk about accepting differences, I also talk about accepting differences for each gender, from the same gender or for the different genders. And tomorrow I can come up and say that I don't belong to any of these genders that is being categorized. And yet the difference and acceptance has to happen. I think it is more important when we talk about gender sensitivity and equality. It is about the acceptance of each other's choice, each other's opinion, and each other's differences. So yes.
Thank you so much, sir. We just have a couple of more questions, if that's
We
fine.
can take, don't worry.
Yeah. Chinmay, sir, you can go
Thank
ahead,
you
sir.
so much, Rishabh. Good evening, Shailesh sir. It's a pleasure having you here. I'm Chinmaya, and I'm also serving as the chairperson of UNHRC, sir. One simple doubt, sir. That's something that I'm sure it is in everybody's mind when you spoke about rebranding and how we are actually a country, where sustainability is something that we have always experienced from our ancient culture as well. But don't you think one of the main reasons why we do not follow this, or we do not make this as an example of ours, is because of the fact of the cost effective factor that comes into picture? Because you see a small chai wala, a person who's selling it on the road, yes, he has the kulad as well, but then when the stations out there, they're selling the ones that are specific and all, these people won't be able to afford them. And a lot of these people are from the smaller income sector groups, and they won't be able to afford the sustainable goods that is there, like the bamboo water bottle, like you said. And even khadi to a larger extent is much costlier than the largely made cotton and polyester clothing as well. So one of the main reasons is because of the cost effective factor. So don't you think we need to work on the cost effective factor first before we make this as an example? Because that way that will encourage a lot of these people to bring it up, and that way when there is a large amount of demand, only then can a lot of people go into the supply of it and the supply line of business as well.
Right. Thank you so much, Chinmaya, for this very important aspect that you have raised. Because when you raise this aspect, you are raising the aspects and the mindset of the marginalized communities in the country. When you are talking about this aspect, we are talking about the grassroots people who are actually suffering. You and I have this opportunity to discuss, sit here, have the best of accessibility and be a part of this amazing dialogue, and then talk about sustainability. Maybe, I might be consuming plastic myself, and then I'm talking about Unplastic India. Yes, I do understand what a lot of aspects that you're mentioning. I think what is really important to understand, Chinmaya, is about that nothing starts easy. When you want to go back to our, a lot of us would have got an opportunity to study Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilization. Yeah. And how come we had so many sustainable solutions then? And were they all cost effective? I mean, how could we have the best of drainage system then? And how could today, even to this aspect, when you visit this, I don't remember much of them, or maybe from Odisha, the Konark temple in Odisha, or maybe when you visit to the southern regions, a lot of these temples are there, which are about hundreds of feet long. Or when you visit to Mysore, the Mysore Palace, or when you visit to Jaipur, the City Palace, who are the ones who built it? It is definitely Indians. So why am I going backwards is that there are a lot of solutions which is lying behind. We just need to understand and connect it with the technological advancement that has happened. Now, when you're talking about the cost-effective aspect, now we are all in this group or circuit where diplomacy is a very important aspect. Why do a lot of nations want to partner and have good relations with India? When you talk about the economical aspects, we are a nation of about 130 CR population, 1.3 billion population. So when we increase the consumption, if say tomorrow on 7th of this month, 7th of August, we celebrated National Handloom Day. Now, when you go back to handloom, who are the ones who are producing the handloom products, or who are the weavers? They are the marginalized communities across the nation. Now, tomorrow, if imagine, if we take this Sankalpa, that 130 CR people will buy at least one product of handloom. Just one product, maybe a shirt, maybe a jeans, or maybe a coat as well. And I will tell you, the economy and also the cost effectiveness that we talked about will decrease. Because if you remember, if you have studied economics, and I'm sure a lot of would have done, when the demand increases, right, there's a decrease in the price as well. So we just need to increase the demand. Why do continuously the world is eyeing upon our nation? Why would the world look forward to India in giving its sustainable solution? Because we don't have to recreate, we don't have to create new solutions. We have them. When you talked about polyester, why don't we just move to handloom? Why wouldn't we take this Sankalpa right today with this circuit and with this dialogue that I will use one handloom product? If even 125 people today take that Sankalpa to buy one product of handloom, imagine 125 pieces of shirt, jeans, or something or the other apparel would be bought, and he or she would have got that profit, and the cost would have decreased because the demand has increased. So that is very important to understand. I think this is about the consumption pattern that has to change, and once you decide that, Chinmaya, the cost will reduce automatically. What is the cost of this glass? 1 rupee, 2 rupees. The actual cost of production is even 75 paisa to 1 rupee. Now, we also have solar charkha. The pottery. So when you can have solar pottery, so you will just have to use free light, International Solar Alliance. And when India has started to lead towards the Solar Alliance, we just need to use the solar energy and the sun to make these glasses. Now imagine when it would have been, and I will tell you this, Chinmaya, in one piece of spoon, knife, and क्या बोलते हैं वो काटा को, fork. Thank you, Tanish. So fork, knife, and the spoon, and one more thing, one straw. These 4 pieces into a small cloth of bamboo, when it is put, it is being sold for 2,000 rupees in different parts of the world. Are we aware about the turmeric and the milk? It is sold as a medicine by $3 or $4. At home you tell your mom that, mom, I would want to pay you 300 rupees. She'll be like, दूध और हल्दी के लिए 300 रुपए. Then you talk about neem, the datun. It is being sold for $10, only 3 pieces, 15 centimeters of 3 pieces, $10. Now imagine the kind of economy that can be built for people who are there in the marginalized communities. It is only for people like you and I, who can be good marketeers, who can be good presenters, that we need to bring that channel together in presenting the platform. And I'm sure with all of our efforts and with the people like you in the Indian Conclave today, this will be achievable. And this is what we've envisioned when we want to reach 2047, when we are going to celebrate 100 years of independence. Because the independence in 1947 was independence from slavery. And the 2047 independence will be an independence to exactly what the Prime Minister has said, Atmanirbharta and the self-reliance that we're talking about today. So yes, I hope that answers your question, Chinmaya.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Just one last question, if you would be fine with it.
Yeah, I can take 2-3 more according to your time and not delaying much.
Yeah, just due to time constraints, we can only be able to take one more. Sir, extremely sorry for that, sir. We have Shresth Gupta, sir. He has a question.
Okay, good evening, sir. Firstly, it's an honor for me to actually interact with you. I would not take a lot of your time. I come from the Northeast. I hail from Guwahati, Assam. And sir, I believe that since we have audience from all over the country here, I want you to throw some light on how important for us is unity. How important for us is not discriminating people on the basis of the region they belong to or on any basis. And sir, how India as a country has taken a back because of these discriminations.
Right. Thank you so much, Shrest, for this actually thought-provoking aspect that you have raised with us today, and it is really interesting to answer. And I'm just thinking what I should really get back to you on that. But something that on the chat box, I'm just reading a lot of your chats, and Preetham had mentioned that I purchased 20 centimeter of neem for 12 euros in Berlin. So see. When you're spending 12 euros, I think it would not be about, it should be about near about 1200. And then as Chinmaya had raised last time, in the last previous question, this is exactly how it will help the people at the marginalized communities as well. So as Steve Jobs sold his products for a higher price, we will also sell our products at a higher price because they are sustainable products. And because that is the only way we can localize the SDG 2030, which is being called the decade of action from now until 2030. Now, getting back to you, to what you have raised, I think when you talk about the Northeast region, I see myself as a person coming from West Bengal, which is Siliguri, which is the foothills of Darjeeling, which is actually the initiation point of the entire Northeast region for the nation. And then I did my graduation from the southern part of the country, that is from Bangalore. And then I traveled to some parts in the northern regions for 1 year into different villages. And now that I'm based in Delhi and Siliguri. So I think one thing that has really got me into my mind is, I don't know if this is a sense of division political mindset that is happening or what. I don't really want to understand. I don't really know at the moment, but I would really like to understand more on this idea. That why do we mention that, when we talk about India, it is just one, right? It is just India. I can't tell tomorrow that, Shrest, East Shrest, or I can't divide Shrest into 3 or 4 parts. I can't divide it. I can't tell Preetham to be pre, tha and alag. नहीं बोल सकते, हमें एक साथ ही बोलना पड़ेगा. तो भारत या इंडिया एक ही हो सकता है खाली, right? जब एक हो सकता है तो हम क्यों इसको डिवाइड करते हैं? नॉर्थ इंडिया, साउथ इंडिया, ईस्ट इंडिया, सेंट्रल इंडिया एंड द नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया. मतलब देश, भारत जैसे देश में, ये इंडिया जैसे कंट्री में, वी हैव 5 डिफरेंट रीजन्स. अब व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट नॉर्थ इंडिया, इसमें कौन कौन से आ जाएंगे? जम्मू कश्मीर आ जाएंगे, पंजाब आ जाएंगे, हरियाणा आ जाएंगे, और फिर ये कुछ रीजन्स आ जाएंगे. व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट ईस्ट इंडिया, वेस्ट बंगाल, ओडिशा, झारखंड, ये एरियाज आ जाएंगे. When you talk about South India, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, then Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, ये सारे regions आ जाएंगे, right? So मतलब ये 4-5 country, ये 4-5 state का एक ऊपर hierarchy है. ये 4-5 state का एक ऊपर hierarchy है. When you talk about North East India, मतलब वो 7 states के एक hierarchy है. मतलब future में या जो भी उस region में रहते हैं, उनके मन में ये आता है कि हम North India से हैं. I am from South India. वो इंडिया नहीं है, पहले नॉर्थ इंडिया, साउथ इंडिया, नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया, एंड दैट इज अ डिविजन पॉलिटिक्स. I understand that this is the divisional politics that is happening with us. So I would really encourage each one of you today, being in this Indian conclave, that you take this as different terms and ideologies. And how can we do that? हम क्या कर सकते हैं? हम ये बोले कि सर्दर्न रीजन ऑफ इंडिया, नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन ऑफ इंडिया, नॉर्दर्न रीजन ऑफ इंडिया या ईस्टर्न रीजन ऑफ इंडिया. जब हम ये बात करेंगे तब वो डिविजनल चेंज हो जाएगा और रीजन की बात आने लग जाएगी. तब फिर लेफ्ट है या राइट है या फिर नॉर्थ है या साउथ है पता चल जाएगा. पर उसमें फिर भारत नहीं बटेगा, इंडिया नहीं बटेगा. सो आई थिंक श्रेष्ठ, दिस इज अ लॉन्ग टर्म change that has to happen. It can't happen tomorrow. It is a long-term goal, and I think it is slowly and gradually when you and I start talking about it, telling more friends, like Salman Khan के एक मूवी में बोला गया था, कौन से मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है, वो थैंक यू बोलो तो फिर you tell 3 people other to tell thank you, and then the chain goes on. Exactly that is how we need to work. We need to work on this chain reaction. Change of mindset is important, and when we can do that, there is no stopping for this nation. Because if you understand, our nation is the prime nation in the entire Southeast Pacific region. Why? say suppose for Northeast region as well of India, you have China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, 4 countries surrounding it. And I'm telling you this, when you look into diplomacy, because all of you are diplomatic enough to understand this aspect and the international security concern that I'm going to share with you today. If Siliguri, which is an initiation point for the entire Northeast region, okay, if that is cut off by any of our people who don't really support us, the entire region of Northeast could be disconnected from the nation. And then Northeast would start demanding its own state as well. It can happen. It has happened in different parts of the country. And it is happening from the place that I come from as well. Right? So I think it is important that we change our mindset. And I'm sure there would be a lot of positive paradigm shift that we can bring together by 2047. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wise words and for actually educating us about all of this. We have all learned.
I am really sorry, but then WHO Spain has been raising his or her hand for a long time, and I would really like to take that last, because he has been very consistent. So just last, if you could allow.
Yeah, sure, sir. But if possible, can you please keep the answer short and concise due to the time constraints we are facing?
Will do.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Delegate, you can go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening. This is Shubham. Actually, I'm feeling very proud that you talked about Siliguri, as I am the citizen of Siliguri, West Bengal. And thank you so much to taking my question into consideration. That I want to ask you a question that you talked about Steve Jobs and about that Kullad and about the bamboo things, right? So I just want to ask you that, sir, isn't it impact our mother nature if we take the raw materials direct from the nature and we will pack it and to represent it?
Right. Thank you so much, Shubham. It reminds me of T.S. Eliot poem where he mentions that the ringing of the bells in my churches reminds me of my homeland. You telling from that you are from Siliguri just reminds me, and it breaks all the barriers. That I think that I already know you by luck or by any chance. So anyway, getting back to what you asked, I think it is very true that what you mentioned, but again, it is very crucial to understand that there are 2 types of resources: renewable and non-renewable sources of energy, right? So I think when we categorize these resources in these aspects, and then if we can take it up, there would be a lot of answers that we could get it by ourselves. Yes, there would be some losses, but then the losses would be not as derogatory as we are facing it today. Because long-term losses are more harmful than the short-term pains. And I think with this, I should answer your question. And when you talk about Kullad, the raw materials that we're using, or the bamboo bottles or the bamboos that we're using, when you see that the growth of bamboo is 15 centimeter in a month or so. So I think it also encourages all of us to do a lot of afforestation as well. And there would be a lot of, and it is just not the only solution. I mean, 130 crore people start using bamboo bottles. No, but then we'll have to find lot of solutions together, combined together, in order to sustain and thrive. Because we just don't have to thrive for 130 CR. I am talking about that we need to provide leadership. We need to provide solutions to the entire world. That is to all the 7 continents and the 93 countries, as recognized by United Nations. So I think we'll have to find a lot of solutions. These are all in primary stage, and I'm sure together we would be able to find such solutions as well. Thank you so much, Shubham, and I hope that would answer you. So yes, thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, sir, for patiently being with us and answering all the questions so patiently, and informing us about various things. And it was an honor to have you, sir. Thank you so much for coming.
Right. Thank you so much, Richard, and the entire team of India Conclave. Wishing you more luck, more success, and looking forward to the next edition as more broader and with more international participants as well. Thank you so much, and have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So as we all know that we are currently in lockdown circumstances, and not all of us are able to go out, and we have also switched to the online mode of educating of learning. So there are a lot of things which come into consideration here while when you choose your career, when you choose things like your college. So there is an initiative from Kavach which Shresh sir will talk about, and I would hand over the floor to Shresh Gupta sir so he can inform you more about it.
Okay, guys, I would not take a lot of time because I know that we are running out of time. Firstly, I'm not here to promote any MUN. I'm not here to promote anything. I'll just be talking about one initiative which me and my friends have been planning since a long time because we faced a problem. So basically, when we used to talk about colleges, when someone used to ask us in 10th or 11th that Shresh, which college would you go to? I used to randomly say I'll go to NMIMS, I'll go to Christ, I'll go to XYZ, any college, without understanding the eligibility criteria, without understanding the fee structure, without understanding the course curriculum. Therefore, we actually had an initiative where we'll be helping kids. We'll be having professionals on board as well. We'll be helping people in 11th and 12th to figure out their career prospectus, to figure out which college they want to go into, and a lot of other things. So I request the Secretary General to screen share a small teaser. It's a 15-second teaser. And since it is made by helping people in 11th and 12th to figure out their career prospectus, to figure out which college they want to go into, and a lot of other things. Okay, yeah. So the video was made by the Secretary General. That is why we showcased it. So yeah, that's all. I'll be dropping down the Instagram page name in the chat box. We don't have a website yet, and the Instagram has one follower, that is me. Since we just started, we have launched the project in this MUN or in this event. So yeah, if you wish to, you can follow that, and if you wish, you can get back to us in the page, and we'll definitely respond. Over to you, Risha.
Thank you so much, Shresh sir. Guys, please check that out and do not miss out on it. Okay, so yeah, definitely do not miss out on that. So next up, we have Chirag Jain, who is a singer and a composer who has been singing from the age of 4 and has learned classical music since the last 2 years. He also has his own Instagram account where he posts his covers, and also a YouTube channel whose videos get more than 10K views, and he has also performed at the Solo House. So I would hand over the floor to Chirag Jain to embrace us with his talent.
Hello. Hi guys. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll be singing two of my favorite songs today. One of them is Abhi Mujhme Kahin. So I'll start. Okay. Just let me know if the karaoke is audible. Is the karaoke audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Just a second. अभी मुझमें कहीं बाकी थोड़ी सी है जिंदगी जगी धड़कन में जाना जिंदा हूँ मैं तो अभी कुछ ऐसी लगन इस लम्हे में है ये लम्हा कहाँ था मेरा अब है सामने इसे छू लूं जरा मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा खुशियाँ चूम लूं या रो लूं जरा मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा मुझमें बाकी सी है जिंदगी धूप में देखते हुए तन को छाया पेड़ की मिल गई रूठे बच्चे की हंसी जैसे फुसला मेरे से कुछ ऐसा ही अब महसूस दिल को हो रहा है बरसों के पुराने जख्म पे मरहम लगा सा है कुछ ऐसा रहम इस लम्हे में है ये लम्हा कहाँ सा मेरा अब है सामने इसे छू लूं जरा मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा खुशियाँ चूम लूं या रो लूं जरा मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा दूर से टूटी पतंग जैसे थी ये जिंदगानी मेरी आज हो कल हो मेरा ना हो हर दिन से कहानी मेरी एक बंधन नया पीछे से अब मुझको बुलाए, आने वाले कल की क्यों फिक्र मुझको सता जाए, एक ऐसी चुभन इस लम्हे में है, ये लम्हा कहाँ था मेरा, अब है सामने इसे छू लो जरा, मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा, खुशियाँ चूम लूं या रो लूं जरा, मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा। So that was Abhi Mushme Kahi.
Thank you so much, sir. We thoroughly enjoyed that. Everyone was really engrossed into your performance.
So the next song is Tu Jaane Na. Okay, so I'll start.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is the karaoke audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. मिलके भी हम ना मिले, तुमसे न जाने क्यों मिलों के है फासले, तुमसे न जाने क्यों अनजाने है सिलसिले, तुमसे न जाने क्यों सपने हैं पलकों तले, तुमसे न जाने क्यों, कैसे बताए क्यों तुझको चाहे यारा, बता ना पाए बातें दिलों की, देखो जुबां की आंखें तुझे समझाए, तू जाने ना, तू जाने ना, तू जाने ना, तू जाने ना। निगाहों में देखो मेरी जाहिर बस गया, वो है फिरता तुमसे हूबहू, ओ जाने तेरी आंखें थी या बातें थी वजह, हुए तुम जो दिल की आरज़ू, तुम पास होके भी, तुम आस होके भी, एहसास होके भी, अपने नहीं ऐसे हैं हमसे मिले, तुमसे न जाने क्यों मिलों के है फासले, तुमसे न जाने क्यों न जाने है सिलसिले, तू जाने ना, तू जाने ना, जाने ना, जाने ना, तू जाने ना, ख्यालों में लाखों बात यूं तो कह गया, बोला कुछ न तेरे सामने हुए ना बेगाने भी तुम के और के देखो तुम न मेरे ही बने अफसोस होता है दिल भी ये रोता है सपने संजोता है बदला हुआ सोचे हमसे मिले तुमसे न जाने क्यों मिलों के है फासले तुमसे न जाने क्यों अनजाने है सिलसिले तुमसे न जाने क्यों सपने हैं पलकों तले तुमसे न जाने क्यों कैसे बताए कि तुझको चाहे यारा बता ना पाए बातें दिलों की देखो जो बातें आंखें तुझे समझाए तू जाने ना तू जाने ना तू जाने ना तू जाने ना Thank you so much. So that was the song.
Thank you so much, sir.
Performing. Yeah.
We thoroughly enjoyed both your performances.
Thank you so much. Just mention my YouTube channel.
Sure, sir. You can put it in the chat box.
Yeah,
We will
sure,
we'll definitely make sure that we stick to it.
Sure. Thank you so much.
So while sir puts it in the chat box, without further ado, we will go ahead with the next performances, which would be our last performance before we move on to what you all are waiting for eagerly, which is the awards. So we have Rance Thakur. We have another singing performance. So Rance is a Pune-based musician and a vocalist for the band, whose name is Runway Historia. He's mainly influenced by rock music, and he believes that rock music is eternal and attempts to move people through the very raw sound of it. So I would like to call upon Rance sir and enlighten us with his performance.
Hey, what's up? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Awesome. Just give me a quick sec. I'm just gonna quickly set up my screen. What's up, guys? Thanks a lot for having me in. Rishabh, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, hi, what's up?
Hi, sir.
Just heard that you guys are waiting for your awards to come in, so I'm not gonna hold you guys up long. I'm gonna play something, all right? This one's a track by Strings. ये है मेरी कहानी खामोश जिंदगानी सन्नाटा कह रहा है यूं सुन सह रहा है एक दास्ता पुरानी तन्हाई की ज़ुबानी हर सपना कर रहा है कुछ मुझसे कह रहा है चुपते काटे यादों के दामन से जिंदा गिरती दीवारों के आंचल से जिंदा हूँ बस ये मेरी कहानी बेनशा निशानी एक दर्द बह रहा है कुछ मुझसे कह रहा है चुपते काटे यादों के दामन से चुनता हूँ गिरती दीवारों के आंचल में जिंदा हूँ अब ना कोई बात है फिर भी एहसास है रिहाइयों में उलझी परी जीने की एक आस है यादों का जंगल ये दिल कांटों से जल ये दिल चुपते काटे यादों से दामन से जिंदा हूँ गिरती दीवारों के आंचल में जिंदा हूँ बस ये मेरी कहानी बेनशा निशानी कुछ दर्द बह रहा है क्यों मुझको कह रहा है Indian Clan Conclave, thank you so much for having me, guys. What's up? I hope you guys been having a good one. Gaurav and all, thanks a lot for calling me, and you guys, all of you all. In case you guys want, you guys can totally switch on your video, man. It'll be nice to see you all while I'm slowly up. Yeah, I can see a couple of you all switching on your camera. What's up, guys? Hi. So my name is Rongs. I'm basically based out of Pune. I have a band called Runway Historia. So in case you guys are anywhere around Pune, yeah, I mean, like, we're glad to have you in for one of our gigs. All right, feel free, guys. But otherwise, good seeing you all. What's up? All right. Before heading off, I'm just gonna play this last one. This one's by Imagine Dragons. All right. In case you guys know this one, feel free to join in, man. All right. You guys must have had a long day, so let's do this. Waking up to action dust around my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. Well, this is it, the apocalypse. Wow, I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones, and up to make my systems blow. Welcome to the new wave, to the new wave. Welcome to the new wave, to the new wave. Whoa, whoa, I'm radioactive, radioactive. Whoa, whoa, I'm radioactive, radioactive. It's hard to go through all your comments, guys, but thank you so much for your support, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat box. Thanks a lot. I wave my flags, turn my clothes. It's a revolution, I suppose. We're painted red
radioactive. Oh, I'm radioactive, radioactive. Yeah, yeah, radioactive, radioactive. Oh.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. That was pretty much from my end. Thanks a lot for having me, Indian Conclave. Guys are doing great. Keep up the good work. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you so much for that, sir. Thank you so much for the very lively performance and that very refreshing performance. We thoroughly enjoyed each and every bit of it. Thank you so much for coming, sir. Bye, sir. Now, coming to the part which all of you have been eagerly waiting for since the past 1.5 hours. So I would hand it over to the Director General, Charmika, and Charmika will take over from here.
Right, am I audible? Okay. So firstly, I would like to heartily thank every single person who has made to the Indian Conclave for the 7 days of exclusive for it. I know everyone's eager for one thing, that is the awards, right? So firstly, I would like to thank all the executive board members who gave their 100% to the Indian Conclave. And it is that constant support that we require from all of you. So with no further ado, since all of you are excited for those awards, I would like to call upon the executive board of the Midnight Crisis Committee, the moderators being Vedant Chata and Nitish, and the crisis director being Raghav Panjire. If you're here, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Charmika ma'am, for giving us this opportunity. And yes, the Midnight Knockouts new concept was a success. We had the best in the final round, battling out to win. And yes, really, we have chosen after very much scrutiny of various aspects, the best among the best. So yeah, Raghav sir, before we give the awards, you want to say a few words?
Yeah. So for the benefit of everybody who's present here, Midnight Crisis Knockouts went on in a certain way. We had 2 mirrored committees, Committee A and Committee B, and everybody was allotted standard allotments. But it was an historic crisis committee where we were deliberating on the Bangladesh Liberation War. Given the intensity and the enthusiasm of the delegates and the agenda their enthusiasm with reference to the agenda, of course, and the agenda was such that the directives, I mean, we all have heard outdated information. What was coming to us via directives and via speeches was overdated information. So for the delegates to dial back to 1971 and get information there, the military power of both countries, in fact, including Russia and USA and Japan also, that was quite the task. And all the delegates in the Midnight Crisis Committee have fulfilled that amazingly well. So that being said, there has been quite the number of, confusion in terms of how should a crisis committee go on, and that was quite reflective in the crisis committee also. So when we were giving away allotments at around 9:30 yesterday, it was told to the delegates that you will be marked upon your speeches and you'll be marked upon your directives, and this will be consecutive. Every time you make a statement or every time you send a directive, it will be marked. And the accumulation of all these markings were done to knock out a few delegates, and the best of both committees came together, had their allotments changed, and then continued the crisis update. So all of that happened, and kudos to all the winners and kudos to all the who hasn't won, because deliberating on such a sensitive and wide scope agenda is not easy. So congratulations everybody who made it to the final round. Now I will be giving away the special mention and the outstanding delegate, and Vedant will be giving away the high commendation and the best delegate. The special mention goes to Srimati Indira Gandhi, represented by Rohit Katta. Congratulations, delegate.
Yeah, and coming to the high commendation, it goes to the Chief of Air Staff. Kudos to you. Congratulations.
Coming to the outstanding delegate goes to the Director General of Military Operations. This was one delegate whose speeches were kind of, dialed down, but his directives and the depth and intensity he went to go and write these directives, the amount of research was absolutely commendable. Right, go ahead, Urvansh.
Yeah.
Vedant with the
So for the best delegates, I guess there might be a few guesses, but it's pretty evident. We have the director of RAW, Mr. Ans Banshal, as the best delegates. Congratulations, Mr. Ans. You are really awesome. His directives started flowing in the moment. He was like an what do you say, a vulture, like waiting when the floor of directives will be open to just craft down directives. And the format and the way he presented the directives was pretty awesome. And his way of conducting himself in the committee was also really evident with the results which we gave to you. So overall, yeah, thank you Event TIC for giving me this opportunity to be here in the Midnight Knockouts. Thank you everyone.
With that, I would like to thank my fellow executive board member Vedant and Nitesh and Ashwin, who couldn't be with here, the two of them. Also the organizing committee of TIC and so a secretariat and the Secretary General. Special thanks to Moin and Urvansh. All right. So with that, I would yield the floor back to Charmika. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Midnight Executive Board. Considering that both the editor-in-chief and the IP head couldn't be here, I have a list of awards of the international press with me, so that I'll just announce them in like next 2 minutes. So we have 3 awards in the international press. Special mention, 1 high commendation, and 1 best journalist. The special mention goes to Rajat Menon. Congratulations, sir. And the high commendation goes to Vishnu Namburi, the AIPPM's international press. And the best delegate goes to Shreyas Manu. Thank you so much again. You all have been wonderful, and the same has to be conveyed from Preetham and Sia, who are not here, unfortunately. Congratulations. Awards are just a formality, and this is just to be completed. So the next committee on our list is the United Nations, basically the UNESCO, led by Navneet Kaur as the chairperson. Ma'am, you have the floor for the awards for your committee. Is ma'am here? Can't unmute. Okay, 1 second. Ma'am, you're unmuted.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I don't know what was the error with the muting and unmuting thing. Thank you so much, Charmika, for finally coming to the UNESCO committee for the announcing of the awards. Firstly, I would like to thank my vice chair, that is Ayush Juneja, who was extremely helpful, and not to mention the amazing delegates for the highly fruitful debate that we had in our committee for past 2 days. So I would be announcing the honorable mention and the special mention, and the high commendation and the best chair would be announced by our vice chairperson, Ayush Juneja. So the honorable mention goes to the delegate of Nepal. Congratulations. The special mention goes to, and the special mention is not in any particular order, the delegate of China, delegate of Thailand, and delegate of Brazil. Congratulations. Ayush sir, could you please announce the high commendation and the best delegate? If we have Ayush sir over here. All right, seeing that he had to leave, so I'll announce the high commendation and the best as well. So the high commendation goes to the delegate of Israel. Congratulations. And the best error goes to the delegate of Germany. Thank you. All the award winners, very well done. And to all the participants, thank you for participating and making this debate very wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Navneet ma'am. We will now move on to the World Health Organization, the chairperson being Chirag Kundra sir and vice chair being Soumya Verma ma'am. The floor is all yours.
First of all, thank you so much, Charmika. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Chirag Kundra. I was the chairperson for World Health Organization, along with my vice chairperson, Ms. Soumya Verma. And the committee did not have so much of strength. However, my committee justified the quality over quantity aspect. And yes, the committee went very smoothly with all the delegates. And congratulations to the entire team of the Indian Conclave for organizing such a beautiful conference. And yes, I won't be taking so long because already it's been too late. So I'll be directly moving on to the awards. But yeah, before I start, I just want to tell you all that awards are not going to define you. There are a lot of more conferences coming up in near future. You can definitely attend them. And yeah, this is definitely not going to be the end. And I'll be announcing the special mention, and my vice chairperson would be announcing the high commendation and best delegate. So special mention 2 goes to 2 delegates. First being the delegate of French Republic. And along with the same, the special mention 2 also goes to the delegate of Federal Republic of Germany. Please give a big round of applause, guys. They put in a lot of effort to, smoothen the flow of the debate in the committee itself. That was genuinely amazing. And special mention 1 goes to the delegate of Federated States of Micronesia. Over to you, Soumya.
Am I audible?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So as Chirag sir said, it's just an experience. You're going to learn so much more than this. And this is just the beginning. It's totally fine if you win or lose. You always end up learning something which should matter the most in life. Now, without wasting any time, I'll move towards the high commendation. So the high commendation has been backed by the delegate of United States of America. Congratulations, USA. And the best delegate goes to the delegate of Spain. Congratulations, delegate of Spain. Delegate of Spain and USA did an amazing job to facilitate the debate in the whole conference. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much. So I would be ending with just one thing, that is awards. If you, spell it out, AWARDS, it's nothing but just a way of analyzing your performance, a way of analyzing your recent development. That's all. So thank you so much. Over to you, Charmika.
Thank you so much, Chirag Kundra sir and Soumya ma'am. Can we have some noise in the chat box? Which committee do you all want next? Which committee do we all want? Okay. I see UNEP. So we'll go with UNEP next. The chairperson being Samiksha and the co-chairperson being Timothy sir. You have the floor for the next how much ever time. Go ahead.
Charmika, be careful in giving me how much ever time I want.
Okay, sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Preetam Timothy. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you guys today. It is an absolute honor to be invited by people of such esteemed quality, and to be surrounded by such amazing delegates, people who I wish I could have been as good as at their age. Ladies and gentlemen, as a common fact, yes, I am old, and
Still not as good as them.
My committee is all right. Jokes apart, ladies and gentlemen, my committee is one of the best committees I've had in a long time. Absolute brilliant research, hands down, one of very good debate. They went into intricacies that I, as a chairperson, did not think they would go into. Kudos to everyone that put in efforts. Samiksha deserves a huge round of applause for the absolute brilliant effort she put on the background guide. And without Samiksha and one more person who's not officially part of our EB, but Shreya Nandiwala, ladies and gentlemen, a man that I could not have run this committee without. So Samiksha will be announcing the first awards and I'll take over later. Samiksha?
Thank you, Timothy. So I am Samiksha and I was the co-chairperson alongside Timothy sir for UNEP. And like sir said, we would have absolutely not been able to run this committee without Shreyank, because we both were so occupied with a lot of things which we were managing simultaneously. And anyways, keeping that aside, to all the delegates of UNEP, you all were equally brilliant. It was definitely a challenge for us to pick few of you amongst the whole list, okay? Because to me and to Timothy sir, at the end of the day, we think all of you are winners yourselves. But since we need to give out awards, I will be giving out the verbal mentions first. Verbal mentions in no particular order goes out to the delegate of Mexico and the delegate of Iran. Special mentions in a particular order. The special mention 2 goes out to the delegate of China, and the special mention 1 goes out to the delegate of Australia. Congratulations, and over to you, Timothy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will be announcing the high commendations and the best delegate. So the high commendation 1 and 2, ladies and gentlemen, it was a difference in my calculation. It was a difference of 0.03. That's how close the difference between high commendation 2 and high commendation 1 went to. And with high commendation 2, the delegate of Canada. And with high commendation 1, the delegate of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And by a difference of 18 points, ladies and gentlemen, I have not seen such a big difference from high commendation to best delegate. And Samiksha and me, we were looking at the marks and we went, yeah, sounds about right. Ladies and gentlemen, best delegate, Ansh Bansal, the delegate of India.
Thank you, sir.
And so just before we close, I am extremely proud of everyone who has done this conference. Rishabh, to Moin, to Moyo Rooms, to Chinmay, to everybody that has been here. It has been a walk down memory lane, literally seeing you all guys. And all of this, ladies and gentlemen, would not have been possible. And everyone in the core secretariat will tell you this. None of this would be possible without the support of your Director General. So amazing kudos to Charmika, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. And I'll not take long.
Before we hand it over to Charmika, I would just like to congratulate and thank the complete secretariat, especially Charmika, honestly, for contacting me, for giving me this opportunity. And I think this is one of the very few MUNs, online MUNs, which brings us with very close reference to any other offline MUN. The amount of efforts and the amount of detailing that the secretariat has put into in organizing this whole MUN is extremely splendid, and great job on the secretariat's part. And by one of the very few, I meant the others were Sekman. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Timothy and Samiksha. This probably made my day, not just the day, but probably the year, I can say. Thank you so much. Okay, which committee do we want next? Comment.
It's UNSC. De do nahi to maar dalenge.
Okay, so my sadist mind says whatever gets the most will not be like go now. Okay, so I see one unique comment, that is WEF. So we'll go ahead with the World Economic Forum next. The chairperson being Satyajit sir and the vice chairperson being Bharadwaj. You have the floor now, sir. Thank you so much.
Charmika, you realize that SC has the power to put sanctions on you now, right?
Yes, sir, surely.
It's okay. We'll lobby for someone to veto it.
Oh.
Timothy sir as a delegate, he'll represent the secretariat. Bharadwaj sir or Satyajit sir, if you're here, you can take over.
Satyajit, are you starting?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you to the TIC Secretariat for this opportunity. It was an honor and a privilege to serve as the chairperson of the World Economic Forum. So to start off with, this is an unconventional committee. Basically, it's not a UN body, so we had to have some deviations with the rules of procedure and even bring in some new sessions based on what we have in Lok Sabha, something like a questionnaire and all those aspects into functioning of the committee. So as far as the performance is concerned, there were a lot of first timers who were in the committee, and considering that World Economic Forum is a technical committee, I must say that most of them did a pretty good job, and all of them have a very good potential. So as far as the award structure is concerned, we have totally 5 awards: one best delegate, one high commendation, one special mention, and 2 honorable delegates. Uh, my colleague Bharwaj will be announcing the honorable mentions and the special mention. Over to you, Bharwaj.
Yeah. Before starting the awards, uh, to start the committee, our committee was a little slow at the beginning. So I guest delegated in our committee. But when the committee started picking pace, I had to control myself from participating in the committee, because the discussions were really good, and the technical aspects were really covered well. So starting with honorable mentions, we have Mark Zuckerberg and Dalai Lama. Being first timers, they handled the committee very well, even the technical aspects of the committee. Next coming will be the special mention, Tim Cook. You did a really good job, man. Tim Cook was really participating in the committee. He really raised good questions, which made even these 3 members were first timers. They were high school guys. They competed with law graduates, even in a technical committee. We were really surprised that these 3 guys are going to they're going to 10th class from 9th now. So a great job, guys. Now, high commendation and best delegate will be announced by Satyajit.
So yeah, as far as am I audible? Yeah. Yeah. So as far as the high commendation is concerned, high commendation goes to Mr. Mukesh Ambani. He's not only going in terms of increasing his net worth, but even in the committee, he was too good with every question he raised and his participation across the committee and the points he made. They were really good. And as far as the best delegate is concerned, there was a huge margin, as in he was uncomparable, and he in fact challenged the EB as well when it comes to the intellectual aspects of it. It goes to Mr. Raghuram Rajan. True to his portfolio, he was completely economic and he had everything in his bucket list. He ticked every single box. And to others who are in my committee, if you haven't won, don't be depressed. Just think that Nightingale won no award in the poetry show. That is all I have to say. Thank you so much. It was a great experience. Thanks to the Secretariat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Satyajit sir and Bharatwaj sir. It looks like if I don't ask the UNSCB to come here, they'll probably kick me out of this meeting. So I would like to call upon Shreyash Gupta sir, the chairperson, Archit Menon, the vice chairperson, and Projari ma'am, the rapporteur, to take over and announce the UNSC awards.
All right. Thank you, Charmika ma'am. Due to some personal commitments, the chairperson cannot be here, so I'll be announcing the awards on his behalf. So even though committee failed, I must say this is one of the best committees that I've been a part of. So we do not have a best delegate or a high commendation. We have a best diplomat, a best negotiator, honorable mentions, and verbal mentions. So I'll be announcing the verbal mentions, and in no particular order. It is the delegate of Canada, delegate of UAE, and the delegate of Bangladesh. Congratulations, delegate, and I would like my co-EB member Projari ma'am to continue from there.
Thank you, Archit. With no further delay, I would like to first announce the winners. The best diplomat goes to delegate of UK. The best negotiator goes to the delegate of France. And the honorable mention with no particular order goes to delegate of Estonia, delegate of Ukraine, delegate of India, and delegate of Pakistan. Congratulations everyone for winning. Thank you Archit and Shesh for being so cooperative. Really had a good time. Thank you TIC Mon for, I'm glad to be a part of this conference. Now over to you Charmika ma'am.
Thank you so much, Rajri ma'am and Archit sir. With no further ado, we would like to move on to the United Nations General Assembly Disarmament and International Security Committee, the UNGA DISEC, the chairperson being Ishwar Chava and the co-chairperson being Anurag Dubashram. You have the floor.
Well, yes, thank you so much for meeting me. Yes, so delegates, really, I don't have like many things to say. Like, I have to end it. The secretariat is like, asking me a lot to end it right away. So I won't be doing it, but I would like personally thank the Indian Conclave Secretariat and its members for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be in the executive board with a lot of reputed members in circuit of the Indian circuit. And a special thanks to Ishwar Chava, but to being the best buddy and being my mama all the time and being there all with me. Special mention to all my scam buddies over there for being such sweethearts all the time and supporting me all the time. So without wasting any closing ceremony time, we would like to tell that our committee, because the resolution has failed, we have no best delegate and we have only 5 awards in the committee, which are 2 high commendations, 2 special mentions, and 1 honorable mention in no particular order. Ishwar Chava was supposed to be here, but because of some issues, he wasn't here. So I will be announcing all the awards. The high commendation goes to the delegate of New Zealand. Congratulations. The special mentions in no particular order goes to the delegate of UK and the delegate of Russia. Congratulations, delegates. And finally, the high commendations of the committee, UNGA DISEC, goes to the delegate of Saudi Arabia and the delegate of China. Congratulations, everyone. This opportunity means a lot to me. Special mention to Moin, Charmika, Mahi, Rohit, Ayan, and not to name, especially Shreyank and everyone. So yes, if it's possible, secretariat members, I would like to request to have another session after the closing ceremony gets done with my DISEC people so that we can have a small interaction session. With that, this is the evening of UNGA DISEC signing off. Well, before that, being this the Indian conclave, Bharat Mata ki Jai, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Anurag. Means a lot to everyone here. With no further ado, the next committee being the United Nations Human Rights Council, the chairperson being Chinmay Prasanna, the co-chairperson being Dilpreet Thakur, and the vice chair being Tanish Goel. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, Charmika. Namaskara, Shasri Akal, Namaste, Vanakkam, Kamagani. Greetings all.
Guten Tag.
All right, greetings all of you. It's been an amazing 2 days for all of us. And I'm going to speak on behalf of both, at least this part, on behalf of Tanish and Dilpreet, that this is one of the best committees that we have been a part of and that we have been on the executive board. One of the main reasons for that is because of the amount of debate and the amount of knowledge that this committee had and they possessed. And all of them were a top-notch delegates with top-notch research, and it was an amazing time for us. And all right, with that, I will hand it over to Tanish and Dilpreet to address, and then we'll go to the committee with the committee awards.
All right. So as Chinmay already told that this was one of the best experiences. And okay, I'll switch on my video later, but due to some network errors, but this was one of the best conferences that I could ever attend. Though having a small number, like around 15 or 16 delegates, the committee was very competitive and all the delegates were having the spirit of winning and bagging over each other. And considering the same, even kudos to Chinmay for being so supportive. And special thanks to Moin, Charmika, Ayan, Mahi, Shrey, Rohit, and all the secretariat who worked really hard and organized such a great conference. That's Tanish, you can go ahead and then we around in the awards.
Firstly,
congratulations, Indian Conclave. You guys have done a phenomenal job. I mean, I've attended quite a few online MUNs, and I think this is one of the best organized. So kudos to you for that. I'd also like to thank the Secretariat, especially Chamika. Thank you so much, ma'am. I wouldn't be here without you. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank my executive board members, that is Chinmay Prasanna and Diljeet Thakur sir. They are some of the best EB that I've worked with. I mean, literally, they're going very informally. They're like the what is this behavior to my Pooja and the Kokila Modi to my Gopi Bahu. The most supportive and the most friendly. I couldn't have done this without them at all. And they made this committee the most fun that it could be. I'd also like to congratulate all the delegates for the phenomenal amount of hard work that they've put in. It was crazy, the debate and just the heat of the committee, you know, when all the delegates are just so interested to talk about a particular issue, it shows, and it did. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this.
Thank you, Diljeet. And with that, we'll move on to the awards in a particular order. The honorable mention number 2 goes to the delegate of Germany. And congratulations, delegate. This delegate had few speeches, but then they all had amazing amount of content. And the honorable mention number 1 goes to the delegate of Bangladesh. Again, another delegate with amazing speeches and very proactive in the committee. Over to Diljeet.
All right, I'll be announcing the special mention 1 and special mention 2. So the special mention 2 goes to Delegate of United States of America. Congratulations, Delegate. Then a special mention 1, it goes to the Delegate of Republic of Korea. Handing over to Tanish, he'll be announcing the HiCom and the best delegate.
So the high commendation goes to the delegate of United Kingdom. Congratulations, delegate. And the best delegate goes to the delegate of Syria. Congratulations, sir.
And with this, may God bless Bashar al-Assad. Congratulations.
Thank you so much again, guys.
Or submit kar working papers
to all winners.
Thank you so much, Chinmay sir, and especially the winners on the spotlight. Congratulations to each of you, Tanish and Diljeet. Lastly, the last committee, but the best committee, the All India Political Party meet. The chairperson being Naman Wankadari, the deputy speaker being Ali Murtuza and Akash Segala. You have the floor, sir.
What has been spoken in the committee. So without further ado, I will hand over to Ali Murtaza and Akash Degala for the awards. Because this has been a conference where comedians unfortunately have more value than the intellectuals. So because there's something planned, Ali and Akash, without further ado, please take over.
Yes, all right, thank you. So first coming to the Indian Conclave, I think all of us have accepted here that this is the, I think, bigger and better than any other online or virtual MUN conference. All, I think really I should appreciate Moin sir's work, right from Moin to Charmika to Ansh Bansal, the entire secretariat and organizing committee for, implementing such a spectacular MUN is a spectacular show. Without no further ado, coming to our committee, as Chamika rightly said, that it was the best. I'll mention the honorable. I'll mention the honorable mentions, and starting with in a particular order, with honorable mention at number 3, it goes to Smriti Irani. Ma'am, you did a spectacular job. You had great lobbying skills. Keep it up. Going ahead, honorable mention number 2, it goes to Udbhav Thackeray. Another, I think, really great work, sir. You did again. You did a splendid job in the lobbying section. And on honorable mention 1, I think our favorite and our beloved Shri Yogi Adityanath, sir. You had great speaking skills. You are great at oratory skills. Keep it up and keep moving. To you, Akash.
Yeah, as Chamika has said, the best committee is AIPPM in this Indian conclave. So without any further ado, I would like to go with the special mentions. We have 4 special mentions here. in a particular order. Special mention 4 goes to S. J. Shankar. Special mention 3 goes to Jyotiraditya Scindia. Special mention 2 goes to Mamta Banerjee. And special mention 1 goes to Sachin Pilot. We don't have delegate. We have 2 high commendations in a specific order. I request Naman sir to announce.
All right. So we have 2 best delegate awards. So I'll be going in a particular order: HC1 and HC2. So HC2, this delegate has been on a rampage in the previous online months that I've been seeing. Without further ado, it is the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, who secures a high commendation 2. And high commendation 1 goes to that leader who is the warhorse of Maharashtra. And this is Nitin Gadkari, ladies and gentlemen. I repeat, Nitin Gadkari with high commendation 1 and high commendation 2. Thank you all for your patience. And yes, if possible, we shall meet with the committee. But I think there are other things planned, and they will soon announce about the TIC best delegate also. And it was great working here. We shall keep in touch. God bless you all. Loads and loads of love. Unfortunately, due to paucity of time, I'm restricted to give that Naman Wankadari speech that I usually do. But I think you had enough of me, and I don't want the law of diminishing marginal utility to take its role here. With that, loads of love. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Naman sir. With no further ado, I would invite the Deputy Director General for a vote of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Charmika ma'am. So as once somebody said, all good things must come to an end. After a month long of hard work from the Secretariat, from the OC members, and from everybody involved, this is a bittersweet moment that we have come to, where the Indian conclave comes to an end, unfortunately. This past month has been amazing, and these past 2 days were the highlight of everything. Like, no matter what happened in the pre-MUN week, the MUN was the crown jewel for the Indian conclave, and we hope that we ended off on a big note. Second of all, I would like to thank all of the executive board members from all over India who took out time from their precious time and actually attended our conference and gave the delegates an amazing experience. And finally, I would like to thank the Secretariat, the core Secretariat, the House of Representatives, House of Organizers, and the organizing committee members. Without you, there wouldn't, also apologies, we have also Mr. Timothy sir, who is from Germany, so not just from India, but also from Germany. He forced me to put that into my speech. But
अभी गया रे वीसा एक्सपायर होने के बाद वापस आता किधर जाता हूँ
but
अपन नहीं आ रहे अपन यही settle
sir खत्म तो करने दो sir speech. But thank you so much to everybody who made it out here. And for one final time, the Indian conclave will be signing off. Thank you so much. Good night and God bless India and Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Thank you so much, Shreyank. Lastly, I would like to mention a few sponsors of the Indian conclave. Being Info Gazette, Kids Corner, Chef Food Foodie, Love Jar, Cocoon Tales, EYDM, Azad Hind Stores, Sahyog Foundation, Rajesh Agarwal and Umang Mittal, Seva Sahyog, Usha Electric Water Pump, and none the least, the Youth of India. Thank you so much for sponsoring our event, and we'll be extremely grateful to you. And the last moment of the Indian conclave, which everyone is waiting here, I would request Mohan sir to take over and go ahead with the speech.
Am I audible?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen present over here today. I, on behalf of the Indian conclave, supported by Youth of India Foundation, powered by Usha Electric Water Pump, co-powered by Seva or Sahyog, and the entire organizing committee, Secretariat, let me call it fraternity of global debating here together, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the speakers, performers, executive board members for gracing your important work and sharing with us your findings and opinions today. A big thank you to all the organizations and sponsors who have supported us and helped us conduct the Indian conclave in the smoothest manner possible. This moment for me is emotional, yet filled with pride, where I can confidently say, with the help of my team, we have surely made the conclave a success. But this doesn't end without me thanking everyone who has helped me and have stood by me in the way to success of the Indian conclave. the executive board members, organizing committee members, and my secretariat members. The conclave wouldn't have been successful without you. I would like to mention a few people without whom the idea wasn't at all possible. Mr. Ansh Bansal, Mr. Archit Menon, Ms. Charmika Nagala, Mr. Rishabh Jain, Mr. Shreyank Nandiwada, Mr. Chirag Kundra, and the one and only Mr. Naman Wankdari, sir. There is one name without whom the Indian conclave Ekatva Bharat wouldn't have become a reality. The person who has been the backbone of the Indian conclave Ekatva Bharat. I would like to thank Mr. Urwan Saraf from the bottom of my heart for being the actual true leader of the Indian conclave. Hats off to you, sir. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement and the willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. Everything that has a start does come to an end. Hence, with a proud yet a very heavy heart, with all the powers vested in me, I, Moin Mahatar Naik, the Secretary General of the Indian Conclave, declare the conference closed. That's it from my side. Moin Naik signing off. Thank you all, and you all shall be missed. I would like to yield the floor now to Mr. Naman Wankdari, sir, who has an announcement in store.
Owing to certain reasons, I really wish I could do it with a poster. But I don't know why Moin said that, the TIC has come to an end and I sign off as the Secretary General. Maybe he's hinting at a small resignation. Alekhya Verma says it's 2.0. Guys, so as we know that this is a sacred month of August. August 15th is a sacred day. This is a conclave which proudly calls itself as the India Conclave. Remembering the sacrifice, remembering the services, and remembering the nationalism and the enthuse of patriotism that goes behind this day, the Indian Conclave takes its privilege to launch the Operation Jai Hind. The posters of the same you will see on the social media. So this will be a military conclave wherein we are simulating 2 crisis committees. Once again, it will be a democratic opinion as to what should be the committee. On the midnight of the 14th of August, we will be simulating 1 committee, which will remember the services of the great Indian leader, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And we will be simulating a joint crisis committee known as the Indian National Army Committee, wherein we will feature out the plan B. Those who know history know that the INA had great chances of launching a war against the British Army, which they almost did, and they were almost successful, but for few resources and the World War II conclusion. So we will find out a military rule to get India its independence. And second of all, will be discussing the civil war that happened between India and Pakistan, with special emphasis on Kashmir issue and the riots that were taking place in India. So that is another committee. But but this is not the final thing. As democratic as we have always been, our viewers, our supporters, our followers on social media through voting will decide as to what should be the committee that we are going to simulate. So with this, TIC has not come to an end. The TIC has just begun for more action. We are looking forward to your support and your participation in the same. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I think we haven't announced the Midnight Crisis Committee. So, ho gaya wo? Oh, lovely. So with that, thank you one and all. Looking forward to see you all in the Operation Jai Hind. And we shall also plan this. It's not just MUN centric, but we are also planning to include a few lecture series. This time you heard people from various spheres of lives, but this time we are planning to include lecture series from the defense personnel, and we shall come back with more updates. We have always never disappointed you. This was a conclave, ladies and gentlemen. When I say that, we had received tremendous amount of challenges, threats, and even some people who said that they will ensure that TIC doesn't function. But you know what? When events go on a smooth note, safe note, on a very harmonious note, it does not mark to success. Success comes when there is revenge. Success comes when there is hatred. Success comes when we have to prove a point. And with this, even after tolerating my 5 minutes to 10 minutes long speech, the fact that I have 60 viewers show that how TIC has stood up to an occasion. And we shall continue to deliver success. we shall continue to hate, to give our haters more reasons to hate. In Hindi, there's a saying, "Jalne walon ko aur jalao, hum idhar bas usko jalenge, jalaenge nahi, basm kar denge, yaad rakhna." So with that, I sign off as the Chief Advisor. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, 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 wow.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Just one small thing to say. Yeah. So as you all know, we're going to have the TIC Best Delegate Committee being simulated. So as you all can see the schedule, so at 8:30 on your respective WhatsApp groups, your EB has selected 2 representatives from each group who will be taking part in the Best Delegate Committee, and those names will be put on your chats, and further details will be given. So stay tuned for that.
And for all the best delegates, you've been added to the WhatsApp group for the Atul Khatri live show. Going on right now, you can go join ASAP. Thank you so much for being the Indian Conclave. We thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Rishabh, can you put UNEP in one breakout room, please, along with Shrey?
Oh yeah, the host has to do that actually.
And Urvansh, I'll be here for some time. Those who want to plan with me for the midnight TIC best delegate can stay back with me.
Yeah, Moin, can you please make sure that my committee is there, because they wanted feedback, so I have to be with my committee. So can you just put all UNEP members in one breakout room, please?
Yeah, rest of the EB members and the best delegates can join the Atul Khatri show. The committees who are waiting for the feedback can stay back over here.
And also those who want to plan with me for the TIC best delegate can stay back.
Yeah, so Urvansh, my
yeah,
separate committee.
Timothy, sir, I'm doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Delegates of UNHRC, if you guys want feedback, I think if other committees are as well doing the same, we can head out to a feedback session room as well. We can head back to our HRC if Moin sir. Hey Shrey, what's up?
Hi Chinmay. Well, that was pretty fun. The chats were pretty fun.
One second.
Thank you for orchestrating.
Stop going live on YouTube first.
Can you please stop the live?